Have you ever stopped to think about the true meaning of Jesus' miracles and how they are deeply intertwined with the Christmas spirit? Most of us associate this season only with gifts and celebrations, but there's a much deeper connection that transcends traditions. It's about hope, love, and believing in the impossible, qualities uniquely exemplified by Jesus' miracles. Imagine if Jesus' actions, like healing the sick or bringing peace to troubled hearts, were a reflection of what we should practice at Christmas. What if the festive spirit we celebrate was actually an extension of the values he lived by? In this video, you'll discover how these miracles continue to resonate, not just as stories, but as practical lessons for our lives today. Prepare to see Christmas from a new perspective. Pilate's words, in a letter filled with reverence, paint Jesus as an extraordinary being, capable of transforming the ordinary into the sublime. Imagine hearing that he healed a blind man simply by touching his eyes, or that he brought comfort to a man devastated by sorrow. These accounts evoke the magic of Christmas, where hope is reborn in every smile and act of kindness. After all, what other time of year is so full of stories about miracles and unexpected gestures of love? Jesus was described as someone who transcended any earthly definition. His compassion and selfless actions resemble the act of giving presents during Christmas. Not out of obligation, but because there's something magical about sharing happiness. Think of that child receiving the long-awaited gift, their eyes lighting up with joy. That's how people felt in his presence, as if they were receiving the greatest gift of their lives, without expecting anything in return. The impact of Jesus' miracles wasn't limited to what could be seen. Every gesture of his was an invitation to inner transformation. It's like when you volunteer to help someone during Christmas and realize the joy of giving outweighs the act itself. He planted seeds of faith and love in the hearts of those who listened to him, an echo that lives on in every spontaneous act of kindness. Pilate emphasized that Jesus' presence brought a kind of peace that seemed unattainable in turbulent times. Just as Christmas has the power to make people believe a new beginning is possible, his stories carry a sense of renewal. And like Christmas miracles, these stories always leave a question hanging in the air. Are we willing to believe in the impossible? The figure of Jesus, as described by Pilate, exuded such an engaging serenity that it seemed to calm even the internal storms. He was depicted as a man of peace, with light hair that reflected the sun and eyes that conveyed absolute confidence. This description evokes the tranquility we feel when gazing at a lit Christmas tree, where the soft glow of the lights seems to tell stories of comfort and hope. The serenity Jesus radiated was so remarkable that those who encountered him said they felt safe, as if shielded from all harm. Think of the calm atmosphere of a Christmas Eve, where silence and joy coexist perfectly. He was like the light of a candle in the darkness, something everyone longed to be near, not just to see, but to feel the presence that brought relief to their afflictions. Furthermore, Pilate described Jesus as someone who inspired not through elaborate speeches, but through his very essence. He didn't need grand declarations to touch people. His mere presence was a reminder that true peace doesn't come from external sources, but is cultivated within. Just as Christmas invites us to reflect on our deepest values, Jesus seemed to embody how serenity can transform not just an individual, but the entire environment around them. Even in moments of conflict, Jesus maintained a demeanor that captivated both allies and adversaries. It was as if he was a figure so resolute yet so compassionate that no one could ignore him. In the same way that Christmas nights make us yearn to be close to those we love, his presence brought people together, seeking the peace that seemed to emanate effortlessly from him. Yet, like the mystery of Christmas lights, his serenity was only one part of who he truly was. Pilate wrote about Jesus as a living example of humility, someone who walked among the poorest and most in need, not with condescension, but as an equal. This attitude reminds us of the Christmas spirit, which teaches us to look at others with generosity and simplicity. Think about how a shared meal among friends and family symbolizes more than just food. It's an act of connection and gratitude, without ostentation. Jesus didn't seek wealth or status. His riches lay in the lives he transformed. He taught that true worth doesn't come from material possessions, but from the ability to serve others. Just as Christmas inspires us to give, whether a gift or an act of kindness, he showed that small actions like listening to someone or sharing what we have can have a measurable impact. A smile given at the right moment can sometimes be worth more than gold. By preaching humility, Jesus demonstrated that the greatest power is found in simplicity. It's like the tradition of setting up the nativity scene, symbolizing a birth in a manger, a humble place yet full of meaning. He chose to walk alongside fishermen and tax collectors, showing that greatness doesn't come from the position we hold, but from how much we can transform the world around us. The humility of Jesus was contagious, inspiring others to rethink their priorities. Just as during Christmas, when many people set aside material concerns to focus on moments of togetherness, he invited everyone to live more authentically. And in this simplicity, in choices that seemed so small, he laid the foundation for something grand. But just like the presents under the tree, the impact of those gestures was only fully realized over time. The resurrection of Jesus was described by many as a moment surrounded by a celestial atmosphere, where music seemed to flow from a divine plane. Pilate reported that when he emerged from the tomb, the sensation was like hearing an angelic choir elevating the soul of everyone nearby. This episode echoes the carols that define Christmas, those melodies that fill the heart with joy and renew our faith in life. The songs of hope that surrounded this moment weren't just music. They were manifestations of something greater, beyond human comprehension. Imagine the feeling of hearing a hymn, so powerful it lifts your spirit, even on the hardest days. It's like Christmas carols that bring back childhood memories, offering a blend of comfort and excitement to face the future. The music that enveloped the resurrection seemed to be a universal language of peace and love, much like what happens when families and communities gather to sing during Christmas. It doesn't matter the language or melody. What matters is the shared spirit. The resurrection was similar, an event that touched everyone, regardless of beliefs or culture. The impact of these songs transcended generations, just as Christmas traditions continue to bring people together. When we hear music that celebrates life and renewal, something inside us shifts. And just as Christmas carols prepare us for the unexpected, the accounts of that moment of resurrection create a bridge to reflect on other miracles that challenge our understanding, leaving room to believe in the impossible. The accounts of Jesus walking on water and healing the sick serve as reminders that faith can overcome the limits of the impossible. Pilate described these acts as miracles that reignited hope in all who witnessed them. Similarly, Christmas is a season when the spirit of belief and renewal shines brightly, bringing stories of generosity and extraordinary deeds to the forefront. Who hasn't heard of someone whose life was inexplicably transformed by an unexpected act of kindness? The act of walking on water symbolizes the ability to face challenges that seem insurmountable. Think of how many people during Christmas decide to resolve old grievances, forgive, or extend a helping hand to those in need. Through this miracle, Jesus showed that the impossible becomes possible when we believe, a lesson reflected in the hopeful gestures of this time of year. Healing the sick, another awe-inspiring miracle, was more than just a physical act. It was a reminder that transformation begins within us. Just like at Christmas, when simple actions such as preparing a meal for someone in need can have a profound impact, Jesus revealed that every act of love can restore what once seemed lost. He didn't just heal bodies, he also renewed spirits. These miracles, while extraordinary, were imbued with symbolism. Just as Christmas teaches us to believe in something greater than ourselves, Jesus' actions provoked reflections on the power of faith and compassion. And, much like the stars guiding travelers on dark nights, these miracles continue to be a beacon of hope, leaving a legacy that invites each of us to be part of something greater. The miracles of Jesus teach us that the impossible can become real when we act with love, faith, and humility. just as Christmas inspires us to share, forgive, and believe in new beginnings, His deeds remind us that small acts can transform lives. So why not bring these teachings into your daily life? Think about it. What can you do today to be the change you wish to see in the world? Now, I invite you to apply these values in your life and witness how they can impact those around you. How about starting with something simple, like a kind gesture or a word of encouragement? Leave a comment sharing what you'll do to embrace the true spirit of Christmas. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and follow more content like this. Let's continue this journey together.